Steve, this is an interesting one, buddy. I'm back once again with MLB the Show, and this is the first time for you. Welcome to baseball.
Yep.
Dude, hitting the long ball is always satisfying, but you have to be a bit of a fan to get into these things. And someone like yourself, Steve, who hasn't really played a sports game for baseball or MLB the Show for that matter. Dude, I've been playing this. Oh, I don't want to mention how long I've been playing this series, okay? We'll just keep it at that.
Of your age then.
Yeah, exactly. But MLB the Show for me is just a constant return, right? It is San Diego Studios back again, showing off what they can do for the series, for the franchise. Can they push it? Is it worth getting over last year's game? Is the biggest question for me. Steve, I want to get it to you as the newcomer to the series, to the franchise. Is this, where were you favored? Were you favoring this one? Or is this kind of like, nah, you know what? This isn't for me. I'm out.
I'm having a little bit time clicking with this one because I don't really follow baseball on TV and that kind of thing. So it would help knowing the players and a bit more about it. But I have to say, my first impressions though is, I'm having fun.
Cool.
And the thing is though, is the menu. The first thing about the menu is because like you said, they bring it out every year and they keep adding and adding extra content. So for me, I'm finding the menu a little bit overwhelming because there is so much you can do in this. You can actually do absolutely everything from actually managing or doing your team and customization and just upgrading with perks and things like that.
Absolutely. I find it's funny because as I've kind of grown with the franchise over the years, I've normally picked like a direction. Okay, this year I'm going to do Road to the Show. Next year I went into, especially this year actually, I dove into Diamond Dynasty a lot more than usual, right? And there's there's a little bit for everybody when it comes to what kind of ball player are you? How deep do you want to dive into this, right? Yeah. Then you get in the online component, you get into like this little mini battle royale, which is an absolute ton of fun. You can get into getting sponsorships when you get into Road to the Show. My biggest complaint year in, year out, Steve, is Road to the Show. Road to the Show is just a generic, boring game mode that I wish they would just either scrap it or come back with a vengeance, right? And just rebuild that from the ground up. They keep introducing little things here, little things there, but this year, man, the manager pops up. It's over. She's over in the corner. Yeah, thanks, Stephanie. And it's just like, man, like you're just a dead graphic from PS3 days. It is god awful. It is ugly as sin looking. I'm like, there's no excuse for that static image. Absolutely.
It's a shame because like all the cutscenes in between the commentators, I love the voiceover, the constant talk over of the players.
Yep.
Keeps you engaged and everything like that. But for me, like you say, the graphics were dated and everything else was really, really good. And I could not understand that. And I did enjoy also, for me as well, being a newcomer, of the training mode, because like from the batting to the fielding to pitching, there's probably about 4 or 5 options, I believe, of different how easy you want to do it.
Yep.
Whether it's just hit a button and it just throws, or here's the bat, or you can actually use the thumbstick to follow suit to do the pitching. And I found that a little bit tricky, but I like the option as you get more and more experience that you can actually increase the difficulty of how you want to play it.
No, absolutely. I think it shows, though, that this is a game that's on a yearly cycle, right? I think that is the biggest thing for me, is that, once again, here we are. Going back to Road to the Show, character still doesn't say a word. No voice acting whatsoever. It's just generic. There's some text. Pick a thing of dialogue, and then move on to the next experience, right? There's just not much to go off of. I want a full-fledged story to come in and go swinging for the fences with it. You want to be, I'm a nobody, making your way through the ranks, and it's just not that case. For me, I went, you know what, I'm out. I'm done. I'm finished with Road to the Show. I want to get into Diamond Dynasty this year. That's where I dove into, grabbing the high-level players, looking to then go grind out, play the mini-series, play the mini battle royale, get more money, get the stubs, and unlock more packs, right? That's where I was starting to really kind of click with the game. Then I met friends online, hung out with them, and played some baseball. Man, I got destroyed this year. I'm not doing so well. I'm gonna come back for a vengeance, Kyle. It's either that or, you know, it's just I'm all Diamond Dynasty. And I think you just got to pick your flavor at the end of the day, which way you want to go with Road to the Show or MLB and go into Diamond Dynasty mode or franchise mode. And that's kind of how I particularly like to play the game. I know that a lot of people like to pick a bit of everything if they can as well. My son is, dude, he's all in. He's playing everything. Yep. So it's just like, how hardcore do you want to go? But it's everything. I think there's just a little bit there for everybody who wants to enjoy the game.
Yep, and also I do like as well the season 2 of the Negroes League as well. The extra about the plays. It's very interesting to find out the forgotten stories or how the baseball started, and I really enjoy that part of it as well.
Well, Steve, I'm going to wrap up with an 8.5, and my reason behind the 8.5, I think the presentation is good. There's moments of just like, this feels really weak. The graphics are just kind of hit or miss at some points. But when you get into certain modes, it's like, this is magic, right? Like, there is just pure magic there. But that Road to the Show is just another mode that just doesn't seem to flourish year in and year out. Small tweaks here, small tweaks there, just isn't enough. A static agent on my screen that looks like she belongs in the PS3 days isn't cool, man. We're on PS5. This should be rocking full steam ahead, and it should be blowing my socks off. And as much fun as I've had with MLB Show 24, it's just a little underwhelming in some areas. How about yourself?
I'm just going a little bit lower. I'm going to an 8. There's everything in this game that you could possibly want to do, anything to do with baseball. And I do appreciate what they've done with this game, even though it hasn't clicked with me. The graphics, a little bit dated for me, and that is probably the main reason. But overall, I like the commentary, the game mechanics. It felt good.
And a pitch. There's a strike up high, and we're underway.